A basic rule of government is never look into anything you don't have to. And never set up an inquiry unless you know in advance what its findings will be.
I can't believe this. We're talking about good and evil.
Our Church of England problem.
No, our problem. We are discussing right and wrong.
You may be, Minister, but I'm not. It would be a serious misuse of government time.
Selling arms to terrorists is wrong. Can't you see that, Humphrey?
No, Minister. Either you sell arms or you don't. If you sell them, they will inevitably end up with people who have the cash to buy them.
But not terrorists.
Well, I suppose we could put some sort of government health warning on the rifle, perhaps. This gun can seriously damage your health.
It's all very well to take this lightly, Humphrey, but we cannot close our eyes to something that is as morally wrong as this.
Very well, Minister. If you insist on making me discuss moral issues, may I point out to you that something is either morally wrong or it isn't. It can't be slightly morally wrong.
No, don't quibble, Humphrey.
Government isn't about morality.
Really? What is it about, then?
Stability. Keeping things going. Preventing anarchy. Stopping society. Falling to bits. Still being here tomorrow.
What for?
I beg your pardon.
What is the ultimate purpose of government, if it isn't for doing good?
Minister, government isn't about good and evil. It's only about order or chaos.
And it's in order for Italian terrorists to get British bombs. And you don't care?
It's not my job to care. That's what politicians are for. My job is to carry out government policy.
Even if you think it's wrong?
Well, almost all government policy is wrong, but frightfully well carried out.
Humphrey, have you ever known a civil servant to resign on a matter of principle?
I should think not. What an appalling suggestion.
For the first time, I fully understand that you are purely committed to means and not to ends.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Minister, and all of my colleagues, there is no difference between means and ends.
If you believe that, Humphrey, you will go to hell.
Minister, I had no idea you had a theological bent.
You are a moral vacuum, Humphrey.
If you say so, Minister.
It's time for your lunch appointment, Minister.
You're keeping very quiet, Bernard. What would you do about all this?
I would keep very quiet, Minister.
So, Minister, may we drop this matter of the arms sales?
No, we may not. I'm going to tell the Prime Minister, personally. Make an appointment for me, would you, Bernard? This is just the sort of thing that the Prime Minister wants to know about.
I assure you, Minister, this is just the sort of thing the Prime Minister desperately wants not to know about.
We shall see about that.
Indeed, we will. What's the matter, Bernard?
Oh, nothing really, Sir Humphrey.
You look unhappy.
Well, I was just wondering if the Minister was right, actually.
Very unlikely. What about?
About ends and means. I mean, will I end up as a moral vacuum, too?
Oh, I hope so, Bernard. If you work hard enough.
Makes me feel rather downcast. If it's our job to carry out government policies, shouldn't we believe in them?
What an extraordinary idea.
Why?
Bernard, I have served 11 governments in the past 30 years. If I'd believed in all their policies, I would have been passionately committed to keeping out of the common market and passionately committed to going into it. I would have been utterly convinced of the rightness of nationalizing steel and of denationalizing it and renationalizing it. In capital punishment, I'd have been a fervent retentionist and an ardent abolitionist. I would have been a Keynesian and a Friedmanite, a grammar school preserver and destroyer, a nationalization freak and a privatization maniac, but above all, I would have been a stark-staring, raving schizophrenic.
So what do we believe in?
At this moment, Bernard, we believe in stopping the Minister from informing the Prime Minister.
But why?
Because once the Prime Minister knows, there will have to be an inquiry, like Watergate. The investigation of a trivial break-in led to one ghastly revelation after another, and finally the downfall of a president. The golden rule is, don't lift lids off cans of worms.
No, Sir Humphrey.
Everything is connected to everything else. Who said that?
The Cabinet Secretary?
Nearly right. Actually, it was Lenin.